Senator Moreno issues an end-of-May deadline for the Clarity Act. The immediate tension is that the deadline matters because the Senate calendar tightens before Memorial Day and the midterm recess window. The event itself is clear. Senator Bernie Moreno said the Clarity Act must clear Congress by the end of May or risk being shelved for years. The first thing to notice is the pressure point, not the excitement around the name. For viewers, the story starts with who can act differently because this happened, and who still faces friction. That matters because crypto market structure clarity depends on legislative sequencing, not only political optimism. A clean opening read is to separate access from proof. Access can arrive instantly, but proof usually appears only after users, traders, institutions, or regulators respond in measurable ways. The confirmed baseline is the bill still faces banking committee action, a 60-vote Senate floor hurdle, committee reconciliation, House reconciliation, and presidential signature. This gives the story a concrete frame because it defines the actors, limits, numbers, and operating conditions. It also keeps the segment away from vague speculation. The surrounding context matters because the same headline can mean different things in a trading venue, a regulatory process, a security patch, or a payments rollout. Here, the baseline shows where the story begins before any bigger claim is tested. The key is to treat the known facts as the floor, then ask whether the floor is strong enough for the next step. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. Senator Moreno issues matters mechanically because legislation moves only if each procedural step clears before calendar pressure absorbs attention. In plain language, a supportive comment can lift prediction market odds without solving the remaining vote math. This is where the story becomes useful instead of abstract. The mechanism explains why a user, trader, developer, investor, or regulator might change behavior. It also shows what could break. If the mechanism depends on liquidity, then depth matters. If it depends on law, then text and enforcement matter. If it depends on security, then implementation matters. The mechanism is the bridge between a headline and a real market consequence. The affected side is crypto firms, exchanges, banks, lawmakers, prediction market traders, and compliance teams. For them, missing the window could push rule clarity into a much longer political cycle. The scope is important because not every crypto story moves the whole market. Some stories change costs for a small group of traders, others shape policy, stablecoin flows, defy collateral or institutional access. This scene should make the effect concrete. It asks who has a new option, who carries new risk, who gets squeezed, and who needs to adjust plans. That is the difference between a story that sounds dramatic and a story that changes behavior. The unresolved part is whether the Senate Banking Committee announces and completes markup in time. That uncertainty does not erase the confirmed event, but it limits how far the story can be taken. Polymarket odds moved higher, but passage remains far from settled. A disciplined read avoids turning early movement into a final conclusion. For crypto markets especially, the first reaction can be loud while the durable signal stays quiet. The best question is what evidence would change the story. It may be usage data, a court order, regulator language, security testing, customer retention, deeper liquidity, or a clearer project timeline. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. For Senator Moreno issues, the next signal is markup date, 60-vote count, reconciliation text, and Senate floor timing. If that appears, the story can move from an initial development into a more durable market or policy signal. If it does not appear, the event may stay important but narrow. The closing takeaway is to judge the story by evidence that can be checked, not by guaranteed upside or worst-case fear. Track the signal, compare it with the baseline, and watch whether real users, capital, institutions, or regulators respond in a way that lasts beyond the first wave of attention.